am so sorry. I was having some serious struggles getting on. I'm still not on my own account, so I'm a little afraid I'm not going to be able to fully do this call like I wanted because I had something that I wanted to share um and share my screen. But that is okay. We are going to dive in and do the best we can. So I feel like before I even start, I need to just say that this is proof that if I can do this, anyone can do this. So you do not have to be perfect to make an income. So my name is Rachel. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome. Welcome to this call. I am not sure if all of you are already customers. So if you are just checking us out, welcome. I would say we're typically more professional, but I don't know that we always are. So my name is Rachel Burden. I am an Emerald Ambassador with Plexus, and I say that just means I really like Plexus and I've shared it with a lot of people. And so my goal for tonight is to really kind of share my story. Now I'm getting another weird little pop-up, but that's okay. To share my story with Plexus. I'm going to share a friend's story if my screen works with me, and just share a little bit of what is available to you in Plexus, how we use Plexus as a tool to generate income for ourselves, for our family, how we use Plexus to create impact in our life, our family's lives, and the lives of the people in our circle and in our community that are around us. So like I said, my name is Rachel. I have been with Plexus almost 12 years, which is kind of crazy. It has been 11 and a half years that I have been with Plexus. When I started, I was a stay-at-home mom. I was living in New Jersey. I share that because New Jersey is expensive, and I feel like that matters when you're looking at income and you're looking at another source of income. It's always funny when you hear someone else's story and you listen and you're like, yeah, but that doesn't relate to me. So I share that to say I lived in a very expensive place. My husband was a youth pastor, which is not a very large income opportunity. Don't get into ministry for the finances. And I was a stay-at-home mom. At the time, we had three kids. My youngest was 6 months old. I could go on and on of what the products did for my health in that season, what they still do for my health, for my family's health. We now live in Tennessee. We have four kids. My dad actually has an apartment in our house, and all seven of us take Plexus products. And so I could go on and on of what the products have done in our health and give you stories, honestly, from each of those seven people. But that's not what tonight's about. So I'm going to share a little bit about the financial side of what Plexus has done for me. So when I started, I was at a season of life where we were broker than broke. I was desperate to bring in money into our family without having to leave my kids. I had worked from home before that was a thing, with my oldest, who is almost 18. So that tells you how long ago that was, for the first year of her life. And when I say it was before it was a thing, there were not a lot of like tools and resources to make that very easy. And when we moved, my daughter was one, and I was like, I don't care what we have to do. Like, I cannot go back to work. Like, I have to stay home with her. I know that some moms love having that opportunity of being able to contribute in other ways outside of their home. But for me, I was like, I need to be home with my kids. And so we just had one at the time, but I knew we wanted more. And so I really started doing everything under the sun that I could think of. I was an extreme couponer, like 57 tubes of toothpaste under my bathroom sink level extreme couponer. I taught classes on how to be an extreme couponer. I did various things with care.com. I don't know if you're familiar with that. I would say the biggest one is I took other people's kids from school to their like after school activities so I could have my kids with me in the car. I worked one day a week at a friend's preschool so I could take my kids with me to preschool. And guys, it just felt like everything I did really amounted to very little. It was a lot of work and a lot of stress, I guess, trying to like cart littles around doing all those things. And it just never felt like enough. It felt like I'm doing and hustling and all these things, and it's just not amounting to what we needed it to amount to. And so when I started Plexus, I really started because my mom wanted to order the products, and I thought, well, at least I'll have one customer. And my goal was to pay for preschool. I was like, if I could pay for preschool, again, I was in New Jersey. So like crazy expensive. So like if I could pay for preschool off of our Plexus income and not have to apply for a scholarship, like that would be absolutely amazing. And so that was kind of my first goal. And my very first paycheck was $387. And I remember, I'm going to pause and jump ahead of myself right here and tell you that this month there is like triple bonus, and we will talk about that in a minute. But you can earn $400. It actually, I think it ends up being like $414 when you help three people order with your referral link. So that is like big money on the table. So I still remember that first check was $387. Our preschool bill for I think it was like 2 days a week, half mornings or something like that, was $400. And I was like, okay, this really could be more than I want, like thought it could be. And it really could be what I've been wanting and what I've been praying for. Because in 1 month, if I can make that, what can I make if I really like committed myself to this? And I will tell you, within 6 months, I really had quit all those other things. I loved extreme couponing. There was like something very thrilling about walking out of a store with like a cart full of groceries and I paid $30. Um, but it took a lot of time. And I realized I could make more money in Plexus than all those other things and more than I was saving with couponing. I can't pay my mortgage with toothpaste, right? But I could pay my mortgage with my Plexus paycheck. And so I really, after about 6 months, I quit doing all those other things. I was failing forward. I did not know what I was doing. I had never done network marketing before. I felt like sometimes I look back and see the things I said and did and posted on social media, and I'm like, whew. And I share that because if I can do this, you can do this. If I truly believe that anyone can be successful in Plexus, if you are willing to be bold, if you're willing to do the things that you're being encouraged to do, if you're willing to be coachable and willing to not give up, even when you feel like a fool, you can be successful in Plexus. And the reason actually that we're having this call tonight is because I wanted to share again, because we really are in Plexus. We are in a season of momentum and we are seeing mass growth that we haven't seen in a long time. And I am a massive fan and proponent and feel like I can prove it by people on our team, by myself, by friends outside of our team, that you truly can have success in Plexus at any time. And those things that I mentioned are important in your success with Plexus. But I feel like right now really is a sweet spot that if you are willing to be coachable, be bold, and not quit when you don't make $1 million by tomorrow, because spoiler alert, you are not going to make $1 million by tomorrow. So if you are willing to learn and grow and tweak what you're doing to make it work a little bit better, you can be successful. And so that's part of why we wanted to share tonight, because there really is a lot of momentum and excitement going on in Plexus right now. So to get back to my story, after about 6 months, I had quit all of those things. By about a year, I was making about $800 a month to $1,000 a month, depending. And by 3 years, I was at the like six-figure a month, or not a month, that would be delightful, but six figures a year, the fancy trip to Hawaii, the car, all the things. And yes, that was a massive blessing. But I have two things to say about that. Number one, I can never, ever, ever tell my Plexus story without sharing what happened about a year before that. So about 2.5 years in, we made a massive move and we moved to New Jersey to South Carolina. We moved in with my parents to help care for my mom in the last season of her life. And at that point, my paycheck was about 50,000 a year. So was I like, making millions of dollars? No, but it was absolutely what we needed to be able to do what we needed to do. And I did not start Plexus with the goal of that being our sole income for our family, but we found ourselves in a place that it needed to be for a season. And what I always think about is if you never have a plan B option, it can never become your plan A. And so I hope that loss and trauma is not part of your journey in this, but we all have seasons where we realize like, hey, this is not working out like I thought it was going to work out. Like this job or this season of retirement or this season of putting kids through college or fill in the blank, whatever your season is, sometimes we realize it's not what we thought it was going to be and we need more income. And if we've never developed a little side hustle, it can never become our primary hustle. And so that gift that Plexus gave me to be able to be with my mom in the last season of her life, for my kids to have the opportunity, is one that I will never, ever, ever take lightly. And I'm so grateful for that. And the second thing that I wanted to share about that is after that point, I had some ups and downs in my business, and it took me another 3 years to get back to that point. And the reason I share that is to kind of back up what I said earlier. I truly believe that Plexus can be a tool to fund. Maybe health and wellness is not your passion. Maybe it is, and that's great. But maybe it's not your passion. Maybe you just want to feel like you were created to feel. You want to have energy. You want to feel good. You want to be able to do the things that you are passionate about. And that's what I love about Plexus is that I truly believe that it can fund the things that you are passionate about. And after that, like preschool goal was met, my next big goal was, like I said, we were in a ministry family. My heart was to be able to say yes to whatever we felt like God was calling us to and not having to worry about the price tag on that salary. We do have 4 kids, and 4 kids are not cheap. Certainly the season we are in now, actually bought a car today for my oldest who's going to college, and all those things add up, cars and college and braces and all the things, right, that come with life. And it's expensive and it feels stressful. And I truly wholeheartedly believe that Plexus can be a tool to help fund those things in your life, even if you are not an overnight success. And that's why I share my journey, because although it seemed to be quick in the beginning, it was another little chunk where it was rough. But when I tell you $50,000 a year, which is kind of where I was at in that season, is still an insane gift. And it was still worth it to be able to build my schedule around my family, to like squeeze my work into the pockets that I had open instead of the opposite, which is what most of us in our culture do. We plan our family life around our work schedule, right? Like, okay, I can take vacation here, or I can go to this game, but I can't go to that game, or I can do this, but I can't do that. And to be able to plan my life and fit work in where it fits is a gift that I'm so grateful for. So that is a little bit about my story. I'm going to peek really quick at my notes and make sure that I didn't forget anything. Oh, I think I left off that for the last 5 or 6 years, I've been at that six-figure income. If you can see up here, these are all little like invitations to fun luxury trips. And again, not something that I take for granted. To be able to take my husband or my kids on these luxury trips that are totally paid for is something that was never on my like bingo card. I never expected that to be my life. And I'm really grateful. And it is an incredible gift. So that is a little bit about my story. I'm going to attempt to share my screen, which I'm not sure. Yes, I cannot share my screen because Zoom was not letting me log in. And so this call has no host. So I was going to share a 2-minute video with a friend on our team. Her name is Nicole, and she shares in short how basically she used the Plexus opportunity to replace her teaching income so she could stay home when she had a surprise third baby. And she was able to stay home with that child and not have to go back to work like she always had previously. And so you're just gonna have to take it from me. It's way more inspiring when she shares that story than me. But I can even send, if you ask the person who invited you to this call, hey, can you send me that video she was talking about? I will make sure you get that video. And it's only 2 minutes long. So we'll skip that little portion. Like I said, y'all, if I can do this, anybody can do this. So I want to share a little bit about what makes Plexus different and unique, and then share kind of what's available to you this month. So first of all, everything in Plexus is done online. You probably experienced it when you placed your first order with your friend. They sent you a link, you clicked on the link, you checked out, right? So it works the same for you. You have a referral link. When you send that link to a friend, they place their order, they pay Plexus, Plexus sends them the products, and then Plexus pays you for the referral. So I love that like simple, easy process because it makes it where you don't have to like hustle and figure out how to get to the post office and figure out how to package your products all pretty with a little bow, because Plexus does all that for you. And so it makes it a seamless process where you get paid on referrals and you don't have to worry about the back end. So there's no requirements for inventory, for parties. You don't even have to do online things like this. Again, you get out of it what you put into it. So if you are like, you know what, I just want to make 300 or 400 bucks, pay for my products, that's great. That's an opportunity that you have. If you are like, you know what, I want to go all in. I want that 6-figure paycheck she's talking about. I want those luxury trips. then you can do that. And you can hop on calls like this and you can invite your friends and you can utilize the resources that we have available to make that bigger money, right? And so that is something that I love, that everything's online, there are no requirements, and you get to decide what you want to do with this opportunity. One of the things, so I will say there, obviously you have to tell people. You can't like be like, well, she said I didn't have to do anything and she's making six figures. You obviously have to tell people, you obviously have to put some work in. There's no free money. It does not exist in this world. And so if you want, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I make six figures and don't work, because I do work. But I don't work to the level that I would anywhere else for that paycheck. And so that is a gift that we have in network marketing. So, okay, taking a peek at my notes. Another aspect in Plexus that is different from some other network marketing companies that maybe already have that online structure is that we are very low pressure in Plexus. You are not I am not paid when someone orders more or less. And I love that because that encourages us to help the person get exactly what they need and not feeling like, oh, I'm going to make more money if they order this or if they order that. So in Plexus, you are paid 7 levels deep. And all that means is if I tell my best friend Sally and she tells her neighbor Susie and Susie tells her mom Joanne, that's 3 levels. That keeps going all the way down, and you're paid 7 levels deep. Obviously, you're not paid the same on level 7 that you are on level 1. And those are some details. I am not a guru of our compensation plan. We have an incredible video that is, I think it's under 10 minutes, that we can send you that goes over all the details and how all that works. But what I love is Joanne over there. What was that? Sally's mom, I think. If Joanne places one order for a gut health combo, or if she orders $10,000 worth of product, me up here at level 3, I'm not getting paid any different off of that. And so that removes that pressure to pressure people to place these like massive orders and order all these products. My goal is to help them get the products that are going to impact their health the way that they are looking for. So whatever their goals are, I'm going to help them get products that meet those goals. I'm not pressuring them for things they don't need, because in Plexus, we get paid on the number of people we help, not on the volume that we produce under each order. And so I love that. And it really removes that pressure out of it. Yes, there are amounts that matter. And again, she goes over that in the compensation video, but it is very simple. Like I said, one gut health system covers that. The products that you would normally use, probably what you purchase, already covers that. So you don't have to stress about, having the right amounts or all of those things. So another thing that I want to talk about is we participate in something called profit sharing. That basically means that when the company does well, you make more money, even on a beginner level. So at Emerald, that's the rank I am, we do have a larger profit sharing pool. But all the way back in the beginning, if you have just helped one person, you participate in that profit sharing. And so your paycheck, obviously, it's not going to be six figures if you help one person, but it is going to be bigger when the company is having more success. And so I love that. And it creates a culture in Plexus that we call One Plexus, which means we all work together. So that compensation video that I mentioned, I didn't create it. No one on my team created it, not above me on my team or beneath me on my team, but yet I have that as a resource to use and share with people on my team, with people who are not yet on our team. And that's what we call One Plexus. She said, hey, this is my strength. I'm really good at this. I'm going to make a video about this and I'm going to share it with the company so they can benefit from my skill set. And you can see that all across. You see it in terms of graphics and in posts and in resources, right? So I love that culture of One Plexus. Another aspect of that is we do have so much support and resources on our team and outside of our team. So this call is an example of the resources we have on our team. If your sponsor said, hey, you just got started, and I don't know, maybe some of you have already helped a friend and you're like looking at what this could look like on a deeper level, or maybe you're like curious, do you want to use your referral link? Your sponsor, your friend who helped you get started in Plexus, they told you about this call, right? You hopped on the call. You could turn around and do the exact same thing. The next call we have, you tell your neighbor Sally, and Sally gets on this call, and you don't have to know any of the information. And you learn as you're earning a paycheck. So yes, we don't just like blindly dump everything off, right? Like the goal is to learn and grow so that we grow who we are as a person. We grow in leadership and in communication and in all those things. But we have resources set in place so you can start earning a paycheck in literally 10 minutes when we get off this call. And you don't have to know all the details. You learn them as you go. So I love that we have those things set in place for support, whether it comes from in our team or outside of our team. And like this call, we have two things coming up this week that you can plug into that are on our team. So one of them is called a 3 in 3. So I mentioned earlier that when you help three people in the month of April, you're going to make $400. Like that's insane. Like that's so generous. And so we have set up something that starts tomorrow to help you get your first three people in 3 days. So it starts tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday. And each of those days, there's a 5-minute video and a one small task to do each day to set you up so that you can get those three people in 3 days. So that's one of the resources. So let your friend know who invited you to this call, like, hey, I think I want to be in that little 3 in 3 so I can get my three people and make $400. And the second thing is on Thursday night. So this is a part of the 3 in 3, but it's also separate. Like you can participate in this even if you don't do the 3 in 3. On Thursday night, we are going to have a messenger event. And a messenger event is something that we do frequently on our team. It's basically a chat thread. I open it up, invite all the people who are interested. You add your friend Sally. Sally's getting a lot of popularity tonight. You add your friend Sally who said, hey, what are you doing? Because you look so good. You know, you lose 10 pounds and the whole world wants to know what you're doing, right? So Sally's like, hey, you're looking so good. What are you doing? And you're like, oh, I tried these supplements that my friend told me about. And hey, they're having an info event tonight. Do you want to hop on and see if it might be a fit for you? Right. So then you add Sally into this info event. You don't have to know all the info. Sally reads the info. She's interested. You create a cart. You put those products in a cart and send it to her, and she orders, and boom, you make money, right? So a messenger event is one of those things that we do on our team. And we are going to have one on Thursday night. So it's going to be a place to invite all the people you talk to Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and anybody else. So that is another example of something that we have coming up that can help you start to generate income. So the very last thing that I want to talk about is, yes, income is super important in just life, right? Whether you're using it to pay groceries or bills or vacations or cars or college. Yes, that is an important part of making an impact. But one of the things I love is being able to make an impact that's separate from money. When you have resources, you are able to give of your time, of your money, of all of those things. And that does make a significant impact on your family, on your circle, on your sphere. But also getting messages from people telling you, oh my goodness, I'm so glad you reached out to me. I actually feel like myself for the first time in 10 years. Or I was able to get down on the floor and play with my son without my knees hurting for the first time in X number of years, or my lab results came back and my A1C is amazing, or my liver enzymes are finally normal, or you start hearing these messages and it literally fuels you because you're making an impact in the lives of other people. And by the way, you're getting paid for it. But even with the money aside, it is so life-giving to know that you are making a difference and an impact in someone else's life. And then you add on stories like the one we didn't get to play of my friend Nicole, who's able to stay home with her kids and design her life a little bit differently than she was before. And that's a whole nother level of impact, right? So, in Nicole, as we were talking about those level 7, getting paid 7 levels deep, I shared Plexus with a friend, and that friend shared with Nicole. So, I didn't even know Nicole before Plexus, but yet, because I said yes to Plexus, she is able to then impact her family in a different way. And so, I just want to challenge you to think for a moment, if money were no obstacle, what would my life look like? What kind of impact could I make in my kids, in my spouse, in my church, in my family, in my community, in my kids' school? What kind of impact could I make? And what could I do if I had the freedom of time or of resources? And know that that is an opportunity in Plexus. So thank you guys so much for letting me share my heart, a little bit disheveled as it may have been. And please let me know if you have questions. You can ask your sponsor. Those 2 videos of that testimony and then the compensation plan, absolutely ask for those if you are interested. And then let them know if you'd like to hop into our 3 in 3 starting tomorrow. So have a great night, everyone. Thanks for joining us.